Welcome to the Hard&Soft Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Yo, what's up, Hard&Soft Pro Wrestling Podcast Nation? Softy's got his peacock loaded up. Oh, wait. Sorry. So Softy got a little excited there. Peacock's next episode.
Okay.
You don't need your peacock whipped out and ready to go. But Softy is fired up. He's got his peacock loaded today. That was step one. Whip that thing out and load it up and get it ready. But I'm here with the Big Hard, the hardest one I know. Big Hard. What's up, dude? How are you?
Yo. What's up, Randall? And what's up, Nation? You know, it's been a while since we've been here. A couple weeks now. And, me and Randall have been itching to get back in front of you guys. And we're back here. And we're just going to go over a little bit of, hey, what's going on in wrestling? What are our thoughts on what's going on in wrestling is more of what this is going to be about. Not exactly what's going on, but what we think of what's going on in wrestling right now. And it's been a great couple weeks for wrestling, to be honest. We've had a couple good pay-per-views in the past. We got a couple more coming up here, looking good. We had a good match with Brian Danielson the other night. That was pretty much one of the better matches I've seen on AEW television in a long time. But we'll get into that then. But what have you been up to, the big Softy, man? What's going on?
Softy's just over here in the Soft Studios. Happy to be back in front of the nation, just like you said, and
the millions
and millions. We're getting all our shit in here this morning.
Got to.
But since we've last been in front of the old screens here, a lot's going on, right? Big Hard. I mean, Big Hard, if the nation hasn't seen, is bumping and feeding like a bitch at wrestling school. How's that going, Big Hard?
Hey, man, I'm trying my best. I've been doing it for a little over a month now. Kind of got into this a little bit late in life, but hey, it's going great.
So did DDP.
If you ever heard of a federation called EHW, Extreme Hybrid Wrestling, it's based out of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Great school there. I've been learning a lot, to be honest. And it's, I never knew how much pain you would be in just from a training session, let alone being slammed. And I mean, the amount of times I've been gassed up running them ropes already, I have so much respect for the people that I watch in the independent wrestling scene after stepping into the ring and seeing what it actually takes. It is no joke, man. And I'm having a great time though. Great trainer, great people. There's a show coming up July 20th. Doors open 6. There's a bell time at 7. Like I said, EHW, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. And to be honest, if you need any more information on that or an address of where to go to or exactly what time to show up, where to park, what door to come in, hey, leave a comment here. I'll get back to you. And I hope to see you guys at the show. And if not, maybe you'll come to the next one or we'll post some videos up of what we got going on. So
that's awesome, man. From what you said, yeah, they couldn't have been more hospitable to you, and it's just crazy.
I don't know if the camera picks this up, but my bicep is just fully bruised, and that's from the ropes.
Are you gonna Roddy Piper us right here on live TV?
Yeah, I might
show them the broken wrist.
Look at my hip.
Yeah. But no, that's I've told you a bunch of times. I can't even tell you how jealous I am and how cool that is. So shout out to those guys, and shout out to Big Hard for being a real one and getting in there, just like DDP did late in life. It's all right, man.
Yeah, and hey, man, when I eventually have my first match, I'll let the nation know.
Oh, my God.
And we'll make sure to get that up on the channel.
Man, I feel like the soft guy and the hard guy have been dreaming of that. We won't even know until it's here. But
I've been dreaming of this for 39 years, basically. So, and here I am. You know what I mean? So what are you going to do? I live once, so I'm going to go for my dream one time. If I have one match and that's it, that's fine, man. I just like being a part of the scene. It's just a bunch of great people. That's all I can say.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and another thing is awesome, like you alluded to earlier, this week in wrestling and pro wrestling nowadays. I like how the WWE in particular. It seems like they've shifted their model a little bit with these. I guess I'm gonna have to start saying it. These PLEs. I like pay-per-view, but whatever.
It's weird to say that.
They're going, global with their PLEs, and the crowds are so hot to see the WWE come into town. But it seems like to me, and I'd like to get Big Hard's take, it seems like the SmackDowns and the Monday Night Raws are the big shows now. They go all out. I mean, they, the Wyatts debuted there, and, we'll get into the Rhea Ripley coming back. They booked their best shit for the weekly television. I think that's awesome, man. It's like, okay, I feel like we always allude back to the Attitude Era. But Chris, I'd like to get your take. WCW Nitro and Monday Night Raw and Thursday Night SmackDown probably at that time. You couldn't miss those episodes. You wanted to log on. How's it like now? I mean, it seems like that is like that today.
I mean, to be honest, these days I have started recording Raw and SmackDown just in case I miss it. But I almost make it a point to try to catch Raw and SmackDown live every week now. They keep you interested. And to be honest, we're going to watch the PLEs no matter what. Really, no matter what's going on with the product. I mean, in my past, there's been times when I haven't really watched wrestling, per se, but I've always kept up with the pay-per-views, and that always lets you know what's been happening the past month. So really, to put all your best stuff in the pay-per-views really isn't the way to go anymore, because you're going to watch the pay-per-view and you're not going to watch it for another month. And then you're going to watch the pay-per-view and you're not going to watch for another month. This way, they're bringing you in. I mean, this last episode of Monday Night Raw, I was sitting there and it ended like, are you serious? Like a huge cliffhanger. And that's how it used to be. But, a lot of times you just go off the air and it's like, well, who cares about next week? But I'm intrigued to see what happens next week. I mean, so this is just great. And, they were trying to say before, The Rock was the one bringing in all these people. But to be honest, The Rock hasn't been there in a while. And wrestling is still very interesting without him.
No, man, it's the brand at this point. The brand's so strong. And but I don't know if you caught it on YouTube. They put out that behind the curtain for WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, it was good.
A couple things. I mean, again, I'll stand by this. I think The Rock did make WrestleMania. And I think he did his best stuff in his whole career. But I came away thinking, like, what a hard and time-consuming and endless job does Triple H have?
Yeah.
My God. I mean, it's just that WrestleMania week. Like, could you imagine running SmackDown and making being so involved in everything? And then, okay, Saturday morning, here we go. All the things that go into him making sure this, and then it's Sunday. Okay, now we got to make sure. Like, man, it's crazy. The amount of hours those guys put in. But again, we say it. Everyone says that Triple H is doing a great job, and he's the man for it, man. I mean, he knows what it
really
takes.
Is. And it's not just Triple H, but his team is freaking awesome, man. His team is awesome.
And it's probably more so a team now with Vinnie Mac out of it. But yeah, my God. What great programming. But yeah, Big Hard, let's get into it. What do you got for this week in wrestling?
So, I mean, first off, since we haven't talked about this, I kind of wanted this to be the first subject. The Wyatts 6. Mm-hmm. 6. S-I-C-K-S. So it's not 6 members as, like at first people thought Wyatts 6 members. There's only 5, so they're going to introduce another person, being Alexa Bliss. I don't think Alexa Bliss is going to be in this group. I think the Nikki Cross role is basically it. I'm not sure, though, but I really don't think there's a need for Alexa Bliss. I think if they're going to make a 6th member, it's just Bray Wyatt. His spirit is the 6th member. He's the one bringing all this to his brother and the other guys. But, I mean, the way they've been doing this, the introduction of the Wyatts 6 was insane. I mean, it was like a movie, a horror movie. They're going through, and it's like there's the one guy was, I don't know who it was, but the one guy's against the wall like this, blood splattered behind him. It looked like he just got his head blown off almost. And then Chad Gable, he's got the big wound on his head. He's laying there. And, people are criticizing because he came back the next week. But honestly, it wasn't a gunshot. You know what I mean? Like, people were like, the death of Chad Gable. It was great. Great stuff. But it was just awesome. And the way that they're coming after Chad Gable right now, almost because like he's against his family and they're for family. I think that's kind of like the thing that's going on. It's just awesome in these tapes that they've been doing. I mean, did you see the Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy tapes where he's talking to Uncle Howdy and he's Bo Dallas? Like those videos are freaking awesome. And the last one they did where the two faces kept coming together and it is basically showing like so it's a horror thing. And I think what they did wrong with Bray Wyatt in the past was they made it too horror movie like. Whereas this, they shouldn't be supernatural per se, because once you get in a ring, what are you going to do? So you shoot someone in the head and then you get in the ring and put on a wrist lock. So that's all I'm saying. But I like the way that they're basically showing that Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas are the same person. And that's, but when Bo Dallas is in the ring, he's just a man. But there's this other side. Like, I don't know how to explain it really, but it is good stuff, dude. It's good shit, pal.
I agree. And I listened to Jim Cornette, and he thinks it's too
double cheese.
Out there. Yeah, he thinks it's too out there, and I think he's got a role to play anyway. But I think Sam Roberts, the podcaster, said it best one time. I heard him say, "There's a point in wrestling that." Okay, you're trying to disband my disbelief here, and then you take me to the edge, and then you go so far over the edge that it works. And I think that's what we're seeing. Like when you saw back in 97 or 98, the nation will correct me there, when Kane came back or debuted, and then Undertaker's shooting lightning bolts out of his, and then Kane's exploding the ring post. Okay, yeah. It works, though. I think there's a spot for that stuff in wrestling. And 20 years later, I think we're seeing it now. When The Fiend debuted against Finn Balor, I mean, that entrance was so over the top, so crazy. The mask that Bray Wyatt was wearing was so revolutionary at that time. It works. And I think the Wyatts is doing that now with the vignettes, and how they're doing it live was the most impressive part, right?
Yeah.
And the crowd pops for it, and I'm surprised how good Bo Dallas is doing in that role. I mean, they were grooming him for that, but the unfortunate death of Bray, it kind of got accelerated. Now he's the guy, the leader of that, and he is kind of leading the way, right? He's taking that group and manipulating them into, making them meaningful and all this. I thought the vignette, the debut couldn't have been cooler. And you just have to listen to the crowd for that stuff. Are there certain things that could have been done better? I don't think so. You just listen to the crowd, and if the crowd's popping and happy, it works. And I think you hit the nail on the head. I would like them to keep it, keep them almost like the Andre, right? You don't put Andre the Giant every week.
No.
You keep him. You keep the Wyatts coming out here sporadically, and when they do, it's quick. It's vignette television. It's not in the ring. They're there. They're gone. Boom. When they do get in the ring, it'll be interesting to see, because it always kind of does downgrade it, right? Like,
yeah.
But keep the volume turned way up, in my opinion. I think what they did wrong sometimes with Bray Wyatt was like they made the ring. Remember when he faced Randy and the ring had spiders on it or whatever? Like that was just not enough.
Or the red light.
Yeah, it's just not enough. Keep the volume turned up. Keep it crazy. Keep the crowd almost like on the edge of their feet, right? Like, where are they? Searching for them. I love it. And I'm not a big Chad Gable fan, but I have a feeling that like after this, I probably will be. I love what they're doing.
I mean, Chad Gable's been doing some great stuff, and I really like the way that him and Jey Uso were in the ring together. And he was trying to blame Jey Uso, like, well, you stole the Fireflies and you left your family.
Jay, man.
Yeah, you left your family too. And then Jay's just like, man, I don't want the smoke. And the way he left Raw the other night, like they were in the ring together, and Jay just looks right at the camera, goes, yeet, and runs out of there as the Wyatts is coming out. Like he is so good, man. But we're not talking about him. But another thing on the Wyatts, the members in the group. So Joe Gacy, I'm not really sure. I've not really seen too much of him. Dexter Loomis, I haven't seen too much of him. They're mostly NXT. We got Nikki Cross, and the one that I'm so happy about is Eric Redbeard. Man,
Hell
Eric
yeah.
Rowan, dude. This guy deserves to be in WWE. Now, we saw him on the Independence at the 2300 Arena the one time. And I mean, he's just the guy has it. He has the presence. And I'm so glad that they're using him in this group because, to be honest, the Wyatts, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt have both left us at a very early age. And I just can't believe that they're both gone. And to see Eric Rowan step in that role, it's like, man, that is just awesome of WWE to make sure that they did that. And I think that's going to make this group even better, having that addition to it. You know, the connection to Bray Wyatt, not only Bo Dallas's brother, but, you know, Eric Rowan was there for the whole Wyatt family, and he was a huge part of it. And he's the only one that's left. And it's very, very sad to see that. And I really hope that they do these VHS tapes with the other characters. Explain, like, doing that same interview, but like with their character and their human person coming together just to show more character of the other members. I mean, I think that would be great. But yeah, Eric Rowan, I'm just so glad to see him back on TV.
Well, and that's what Triple H does well. He understands that there's legs on this. There's so much time. You don't have to pay. There's no payoff, maybe, but you don't have to rush to anything. And the whole point of this is to get Bo over and to get the rest of the group over. And he understands that better than anybody. So I'm sure we'll see all of that. Hold on. Sip of water for the working man. You can get these cups on Hard&Soft ProWrestlingPodcast.com. Just don't do HardandSoft.com.
Yeah, that might come up with something you don't want to see. But yeah, so the Wyatts, I mean, it's great. We're going to see what's going on. We got SmackDown coming on tonight. They're not going to be there, obviously, but honestly, they might show up SmackDown. They might start showing up on both brands, but I think maybe keep it on Raw. Raw's a 3-hour show. They got more time to do these videos and stuff like that. So, I mean, just been great so far. But on other news, MJF is back. Mm-hmm. You know, so he came back before Forbidden Door. I don't know if you watched that pay-per-view, but we're not really talking about Forbidden Door because it was 2 weeks ago, so I don't want to get too far in the weeds. But MJF is back. Now, he kind of came back and was almost like, I don't know, it really didn't seem like the MJF of old. You know, like he came back, he showed that tattoo, I'm staying at AEW, blah, blah, blah. And then like a couple of weeks just went by and really nothing. I mean, he went against some no-name guy at Forbidden Door. And honestly, that term is just they need to stop with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. It's over already. The door is opened. It's not forbidden anymore. Tony Khan basically owns all these New Japan companies. So, but he did attack Danny Garcia, Danny Garcia. Yep, he attacked him, cut him open, bloodied him up, gave him the pile driver off the top. You know, when you see a guy coming out in a white shirt, you know there's blood coming. Come on, buddy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was definitely a great angle, and I think that MJF needed that to kind of bring that edge back. But then like last week or this week on AEW, you know, MJF was in a promo with Will Ospreay, and I don't know, it just didn't do it for me, really. You know what I mean? Now Will Ospreay's a great wrestler, but MJF and Will Ospreay, it's going to be a great match. But why are they doing it on Dynamite? And why is it for the international title? Like, what? MJF does not care about the international title. He was the AEW World Champion. So I think when MJF comes back, he should be boosted right into that scene. Now, yeah, going against Will Ospreay is very good, but he needs to beat him. So I don't know. What do you think about MJF's new comeback here?
Softy loves MJF. And I think the great thing about MJF, you kind of alluded to it, Big Hard, it's not the titles. He's not after the titles. It's the personal feuds with him that make his stories so good. Him and Punk. Him and,
I missed that.
I mean, there's plenty more with him, but It's the personal feuds. He doesn't necessarily, and I think that's kind of a downfall to Tony is he books for the wrestling fan. We've said this a million times. He books for the sickos. He books for the big title matches. It's not always the titles that get a storyline over. And again, to AEW's downfall, I think they're rushing into this. Let us want to pay for MJF versus Will Ospreay, because Ospreay can work his ass off. Ospreay can cut promos. I mean, we probably talked crap about it when he called out Triple H, but he made headlines. He's not afraid. He's not afraid out there. There's no fear in him. There's no fear in MJF. Make us pay for that and give it legs, man. There's money there. And the money is not the match.
No.
The money is the personal feud. And we make no mistakes or we don't keep that hidden. We like the feuds. We like the storylines. We don't necessarily like the fight. We'll watch a 5-star match every once in a while. We go, what a match that was. That sometimes the payoff is for those guys to go an hour. But it's not all the time, and I don't think it is here. I liked MJF turning heel. I'll tell you one thing. He, more than anybody, goes crazy in the crowd. I mean, did you see him the other Wednesday night when he's touching people in the crowd? And man, does he go overboard with that? I think it might be too much at some point. Because if someone does step to him, he's going to protect the business. Crazy. But yeah, it's the storyline with MJF. I don't think it's the title. I don't think he should go wrestle on a Wednesday night. I'm sure it'll be good, but I don't know how many people will watch. Again, Tony rushes to things. Make us want it. Make us want it and make us want to pay for it. But
I think there's going to be interference in the match, and I think it's going to the match is going to end. I think Danny Garcia is going to come in. I think Pac might come in because Pac wants Ospreay. So I think there's going to be some shenanigans going on here. So I think we will get a better match out of them in the future. But I think it's just too soon.
I wish MJF signed with WWE. I think he'd be so good.
Yeah, and I don't think that tattoo is real, so don't worry. When this contract is up, he can wipe that thing off. And it looked like a temporary tattoo to me. I mean, I don't have any tattoos, and I don't want to be judgmental of anybody's, but that thing is horrible. It does not look good, and the amount of money that MJF makes, you're telling me he can't go and find the best tattoo artist. So come on now. But yeah, great stuff. Like I do like Ospreay. We saw him live. Collision definitely puts on a great match. I will say, but
I'll say this one last thing about AEW, man. I've been saying it 1,000 times. We were at Collision, half the arena's there. Just book a smaller arena. It would have been a completely different show. It's so hard for we're the most passionate fans, and we want to get over too, right? We're the most passionate fans in sports. But it's hard to get into the show when it's almost like you start a chant and it doesn't. You can't even hear it. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to get into it, man. And just book smaller shows, please.
What are you gonna do? This past week we've had 2 new tag team champions. So we got DIY as the new SmackDown champions, and we have Finn Balor and JD McDonough of the Judgment Day, the new Raw tag team champions. So, the titles got split up at Mania. They got put on R-Truth and Miz, the first one, or the Raw titles, and then Grayson Waller and Theory won the SmackDown titles. Now, Miz and R-Truth, that was just a feel-good moment at Mania, so they really needed to lose those titles. And I like the fact that JD and Finn won them. And the DIY, they definitely deserved it, but I feel like if they're going to do anything with Austin Theory or Grayson Waller, they might have had the titles on them a little longer just to give them a little bit more legs. Because honestly, now that they got the titles off of them, really, I don't really care about a match between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory at this point. They should have done a better breakup angle to lose the titles as they break up, and then maybe you'd care about it. But Austin Theory definitely has a bright future, I think. He was Vince McMahon's boy toy, but even with Vince gone, I still think that Austin Theory is going to skyrocket. I think he just needs to get a little bit better on the mic, but besides that, it was good to see title changes, and you saw him on Raw and SmackDown. So you don't have to watch the PLEs all the time to see a title change. Not like they're doing it at Allentown, Pennsylvania at a house show, but it's kind of cool when you're watching Raw or SmackDown and you see a title change. I don't know.
Yeah, congrats to Finn Balor and JD being the new pizza cutter champions, man. That things look like a pizza pie.
Yeah, I will say the SmackDown titles are sick.
Speaking of Austin Theory, now I'm not saying that, but Cena, okay, he comes back at Money in the Bank. I thought Money in the Bank. I almost just started singing "Bad Man" by John Cena. Anyway,
I'm a bad man.
I thought Money in the Bank was awesome. I think the women stole the show once again. I thought the women's
They had a great match.
It was crazy. But Cena comes back.
Spots.
He's going to go on his retirement tour. Who do you think's going to wrestle Cena at Mania in Vegas? And are we going? I want to go.
Oh, man. Well, Vegas won't be his last match. But I think for Cena,
it won't?
Mania,
I thought that's the whole thing.
No, he has, I think 2025 is his last year. He was saying, like, the Rumble will be his last Rumble. This will be his last WrestleMania. Okay. This will be his last Elimination Chamber. But I think he plans on wrestling like 30, 40 dates. I think the finish should be somebody on the come up.
100%. 100%.
Like a Braun Breaker. Solo Sikoa already beat him. But I could see the Bloodline just taking Cena out. Like, boom, that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then after that, that's maybe when Roman comes back. Because I think Roman might be gone till the Rumble, dude. I don't know. I don't think he's coming back at SummerSlam. I don't think it's time yet. I don't think it's time.
Let that simmer. Let his comeback could be an Austin pop.
Dude, I hate to say it. It's gonna be bigger than that Austin pop at that Raw when he came back. I hate to say that, but it is gonna be insane, dude. But Cena, I think like a Braun Breaker. I think at Mania though, I would like to see him versus Orton. I would like to see that.
Could you imagine Roman, whenever he does come back, the pop of his music, but then the pop of the wise man Paul Heyman coming back out?
Oh,
and the pop of Roman. I mean, good Lord.
We didn't even talk. We didn't get a chance to talk on the podcast about the Heyman thing, did we? I mean, the way that he went into that last SmackDown, like it looked like he was up for 2 days straight. He hasn't shaved.
He's the best.
And like just the fear and the look on his face. I mean, he is so good at that. Like he is so scared of Solo. Like he is absolutely afraid of him.
And he took a hell of a bump.
Oh my God, that power! When Jacob Fatu went up on the top rope, I thought he was going to splash him. I thought he was going to splash him, and luckily he just gave him a headbutt. I was like, "Don't do this! You're going to kill the guy." But Jacob Fatu. I can't think of anybody on the independent scene that deserves to be at WWE almost any more than Jacob Fatu.
And I love
the guy is sick.
I love his Samoan werewolf gimmick. And I'm surprised how many people, like, he got a pop, man. I'm surprised how many people knew of him. But especially being in Philly and PA, it does seem like I've never met him. I'm not saying that, but it seems like it's our boy. He made it.
Yeah.
You know? We're kind of getting that around the local circuit here.
Yeah, we saw him at the 2300 Arena against Matt Riddle. And to be honest, that was one of the best independent matches I've seen in my life.
Hell yeah, dude.
Jacob Fatu is insane. And he cut like 20 to 30 pounds to get to WWE. I'm pretty sure they probably, asked him to cut a little weight, but he looks like a beast, dude.
Well, he's in great shape, and he's got that aura where they're kind of promoting the fact that they had trouble getting him across the border with his
I love it.
But he's got those eyes, man. When he has he's got those facials that, man, that guy's psychotic. Again, the craziest heels or just kind of whatever role he's trying to play. When you're a father and it's a sports entertainment thing and you got your kid there, but then Jacob Fatu comes out and your kid's kind of like, whoa, don't let him get too close. That's when you got it.
And you're also like that too as the father. You're like, please don't get too close. Like when you're a heel and you can make somebody afraid of you, that you got it. You got it. Not that they hate you, that they're afraid of you. Man, you ain't going nowhere. And like you said, that Samoan werewolf, come on, man. You got to be kidding me. Who thought of that? That is just insane. That is just awesome, dude. Like, who thought of that? This ain't no Chili
No,
McFreeze.
I think that's been him. That's been his thing for a while. But they just
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man. I mean, the bumps that he takes too. I mean, he comes back and smashes Heyman and Rhodes, and man, he's right to the main event. I thought the main event at Money in the Bank was a little flat. I think Kevin Owens was awesome in it, getting crowd reactions and all. But to go back to the Cena thing, I'd like to see Damian Priest go against Cena. I think that's the story or the role for him to. He's over, okay, but he's a little flat, especially at Money in the Bank. I mean, there was some things with that 1, 2, 3, and Damian has it, but he's not there yet. I think him healing out bit like hard against Cena, bloodying him up, eliminating him at Rumble. The crowd will boo that. The crowd will get it. It's easy to get. Again, I think color would be great in that feud, and I think that might be an opportunity for him to really get the right reactions. And Cena going out, getting the big face pop and the face run, that might be the thing that can kind of, make Damian Priest over and people to know him and know him as a good heel. Anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of the bloodline, though, what about the other two members, Tongaloa, Tama Tonga?
They're definitely. You know what? Sorry to cut you off there, Big Heart. I like them. I think that's what makes Jacob Fatu so good. Is they seem a little clean. They seem polished. They're in the suit. Their beards are all shimmed up and they're polished. That's what makes Fatu this wild card. So
how about the low blow at Money in the Bank?
Terrible, but it's.
He punched him right in the butt, and then he went for it. It just sucked. You know what I mean? I hate to even bring it up, but it was just kind of funny watching it. Because it was like, wait, what just happened? Oh, okay. He's going for the low blow. He missed it. That's okay. Yeah. It was what it was. But those guys are great, and I just haven't seen enough of them to have too much of an opinion. But I've seen Tama Tonga in the ring a couple times during that King of the Ring tournament, and he's definitely good in the ring. So I'm liking the new bloodline. I feel like they might bring in a new wise man, but I'm not sure. I keep hearing talk online about bringing back, I forget what the guy's name was, but he was Umaga's manager. So, I mean, Jacob Fatu almost reminds me of like that Umaga character. Yeah, they can bring him in and kind of almost have him try to be like in control, like try to control everybody because they're just too crazy. Like they need that wise man to be like, hey, okay, you can't be doing this. Right. Something like that.
Well, again, anytime you can get the internet talking, us talking, the world talking about what they're going to do next, it's working.
You're doing it right. I mean, you're doing something right. That's for sure. So yeah, that kind of takes us past the Money in the Bank talk and the bloodline. But, I do want to circle back to the Punk and McIntyre feud. So this has been awesome. Punk is great. And I really don't even care if he's injured or if he doesn't even wrestle, dude. Like, honestly, just having Punk there on the mic and being able to do some run-ins and stuff like that, this has just been great. And, like, I thought him screwing over Drew at the last PLE was going to be, like, the last of it until they met. And I really didn't think that CM Punk was going to be at Money in the Bank. I kind of hate that they wasted the cash in like that for the Money in the Bank for the men's, but I kind of get where they're doing it from because look at the champions right now, like Cody Rhodes. Is someone really going to cash in on Cody Rhodes? Like WWE doesn't want to do that. They have long-term plans for Cody Rhodes to probably be champion until next WrestleMania. So they can't have somebody cash in on him. They got Gunther going for the title at SummerSlam, and I almost guarantee Gunther's beating Damian Priest for that title.
I'd love to see it.
And then if Gunther has the title, really, you're going to have someone cash in on Gunther? So maybe they did make the right choice. I just like having that guy with the Money in the Bank. I like the storyline of it. He's always coming out pretending to cash in or trying to cash in, but we got Tiffy time for that. So
hell yeah.
But Punk is just amazing, dude. He comes out, does the referee thing at Clash at the Castle, screws over Drew. And then he comes out, screws over Drew one more time. And like you already said about that pinfall, I think almost the reason that Damian Priest might not have kicked out is because maybe there was a miscue with the music. Maybe Punk's music or maybe Drew's music was supposed to hit at that 1, 2.
Oh, that's
Drew's
a good
music
point.
hits, and then the ref is like, he stops the count and looks over like, what's going on? What is going on here? And he looks up, sees Drew coming in, and stops the count. Maybe that was what it was, because for Damian Priest not to kick out of that, I mean, he's a pro, dude. You're going to tell me that.
Point. And he was kind of, if you watch it, it almost seems like he was looking towards the entranceway.
Yeah, Damian Priest is a pro. He's not going to not kick out of a freaking Falcon Arrow. Come on, man. Like, if he's supposed to, no one, I don't think Seth Rollins has won with that move ever. It's a great move, but I don't think he's won a match with it. And to be honest, like I said, I think that was just a miscue with the music. And if that's all it was, big deal. No one's going to remember that crap.
And I think that makes sense, Chris, because Triple H commented on it, and you could see how bad he feels about it, because he's such a proponent of Damian. And he could feel some kind of responsibility for that. And it sucks too, because that 1, 2, 3, when you botch it a little bit like that, it can really take the crowd out of it. And I flash back to when Kurt Angle faced Shawn Michaels. What a great match that was at Mania, and it just went. And then Angle kind of was late kicking out on a pinfall, I think, and it kind of made the finish of the actual finish flat. But yeah, the great thing about this is I want to not care about Drew so bad internally. Like, I'm not a Drew McIntyre fan. Not that I don't want to be. He doesn't do it for me, but he is now, and I am a fan of him. And when his music hits, I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
And it's because he's playing that whiny, but then he comes back and bloodies Punk up or carries him out and takes the bracelet, and that perfectly led into the modern day. Here we go. Softy's getting crazy here. The modern day Rock Austin is Seth and Punk. Okay, when they get face to face, that's real. Okay, those two are real. And Punk, in the involvement that he's doing, Drew is awesome right now. He's making me a believer. I love it. And again, when they finally do get in the ring, crazy. And when him and Seth get in the ring, crazy too.
Yeah, they had that promo on Raw together this week, and
awesome.
Definitely good. It was kind of good because it was kind of bringing out like a vulnerable side of Punk.
Yeah.
Because Seth Rollins was like, almost demanding an apology for, him screwing him over. And funny, I've never heard CM Punk actually apologize to anybody. And he did. But who knows if that was really genuine, So
well, I like how they were making it again, they're making that storyline real. Punk is there trying to defend his family, and he keeps screwing Drew, and I love it.
He's just screwed over everybody so far. That's all he's doing, And I just pray that he does not get hurt in this first match with Drew, because honestly, it's like every time Punk does something physical anymore, he's getting hurt. But you know what? It is what it is. He's not 30 years old. And
now Big
happen.
Hard, do you think now WWE's great right now, which is making the whole world of professional wrestling still on fire? I kind of had the feeling that after WrestleMania and that big payoff, you were going to see it dip, and maybe it did slightly, but not. It doesn't seem like it.
It's picking right
back up. How long are
up.
we going to ride this wave, you think?
I think all the way to Mania,
dude. Next year they're going to go to Netflix, and that's going to be huge.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to go. This year is just going to fly by with WWE, and then honestly, the whole year of 2025 is going to be sellout after sellout after sellout, because it's going to be John Cena's last year.
Think about the amount of merch.
Oh my God, they've already set themselves up just by having Cena come out and announce that retirement. Now is putting that in people's heads. People are out there now trying to buy Mania tickets because this is going to be Cena's last WrestleMania.
So
Cena's last Royal Rumble.
Are we going?
I mean, I would love to. We might have to sleep in a car, I guess. But I mean, 2025 is going to be they're going to be on fire. I mean, I don't care what other company has going on. Cena's retirement tour. I mean, and this is the funny thing. For years, everybody's boo Cena. We don't want Cena. We don't want Cena. Well, look at this. Everybody wants Cena back. And you can sit here and say you don't want Cena, but when I see you buy a ticket to go to Raw because John Cena's on the card, come on now. You know what I mean? And yeah, I want to hear your time is up. My time is now. I want to hear that song again live.
Big Hard's marking out hard.
I mean, did we see? Oh yeah, we saw Cena at Mania this year. For a little bit, but yeah, I'm excited about Cena's last tour, dude. I mean, and you could say what you want about him in the ring. Yeah, he's not the greatest in the ring, but he's gotten a lot better. He took that criticism from people and really went out there. I mean, I've seen Cena hit a Canadian destroyer. But
WWE is on fire. Cena's on fire. The whole business is on fire. The nation's on fire. We're over 270 subscribers. Thank you to the nation. Please like and subscribe. Big Hard, you got anything else, man, for the nation? The millions.
And millions. I mean, I really only got one message for him, and that's if you're not hard, you're soft.
You're damn right. And it's okay to be soft sometimes, dude.